Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, defensive end out of Harvard, Zach Hodges. Zach, I appreciate you taking some time this evening. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
The pleasure's all mine, so let's get right to it, Zach. You grew up in Georgia and had a pretty successful high school football career. In your final year, you were able to sack the quarterback 21 times and force 10 fumbles. Now, from what I heard, you had many colleges that had interest in you. How did Harvard win you over?
For me, my family always kind of put an emphasis on education, and just as I went through the college process, Harvard was one of the first schools to start talking to me, and they just kind of stayed there along the process. They stayed with me, I kind of stayed with them, and when it was all said and done, I just felt it was the best decision for me and my family.
You've seen a pretty nice amount of playing time as a freshman in 2011. You played in 9 of the 10 total games, missing 1 due to a shoulder injury. In 2012, as a sophomore, you became a starter on that Crimson defensive line. And last season, you recorded 40 tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries, which ultimately earned you the Defensive End Award, Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, and you're also named to the All-Ivy First Team. Now, having all that success that you had last year, what were your expectations for this season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around with the Harvard Crimson?
I don't know. For me, I guess my focus a lot was just about trying to help take this team. I kind of realized that I stepped into the leadership role early on in my career here, and I don't know. Coming into this year, we knew that we'd have a really young team that was a lot of young guys really trying to step up to the plate. And so for me, I felt like my role was just trying to make sure that I was there for those guys and help them just know that how to get along the process, get along the way. Kind of having to be like that sturdy guy when some of our games, everything could be shaky. Just trying to make sure that I was able to be counted on as kind of a sturdy, foundational player to keep the line straight as we went through the season.
Well, it certainly looks like you're able to do that. You guys had a lot of success this year. You guys finished the season with a 31-24 victory against Yale in what was probably one of the best college football games I watched all year. The Harvard Crimson finished the season 10-0, and you're able to put up, 26 tackles, 8.5 sacks, and 10 tackles for loss. How would you describe your, not only this past season of yours at Harvard, but your entire experience at Harvard?
For me, it was truly a learning experience. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to come here. I made a lot of really great friends who will always kind of be there for me, and I hope to always be there for them. As far as athletically, I've been very fortunate for all the accolades and everything I received. But for me, the most valuable thing I got athletically from my experience here, one, learning the game of football and actually being able to become a student of understanding the game, but two, just kind of the relationships I've had with the people here in my experience. That's kind of the best thing that Harvard offers to people who come here. This is an opportunity to meet and share and spend time and get to know the people here and my teammates. So that was kind of the biggest thing for me.
Chris Schanfeld talking with Harvard Crimson defensive end and 2015 NFL draft prospect Zach Hodges. And Zach, I mentioned that game against Yale. It was one of the biggest and oldest rivalries of all college football, Yale versus Harvard. Is that game one that you circle on your calendar every year?
Yeah, to be honest, Harvard-Yale, in my career, I usually don't really share a lot of my goals, but in my career here, winning Harvard-Yale and being 4-0 when I graduate was kind of my only, as far as like team record goal, that was my only goal as far as like team record goes in my career here, and I'm very thankful to say I can add on to the, I don't know, I think this is like the 10th year that we're 13 or 14, I think, in the past 14 years, and like the last 8 straight against Yale. So being able to graduate amongst those legions of guys who say they never lost to Yale, it's kind of something special.
Yeah, being 4-0 against Yale, I'm sure you saying that'll never get old. Now, Zach, there's no doubt you had a lot of success at Harvard. I got to think that playing in the NFL is a dream of yours. When did you realize that there's a chance that you could actually make that a reality?
I would say that started to become a reality probably. I remember when I was in high school and people used to say stuff like that, but I never really paid much attention to it. It probably was last year when, I don't know, my mindset just shifted, and it went from just trying to play as best I can to just realizing I'm good at what I do, and I need to play like I'm good at what I do. And for me, that's really when it shifted, and I just realized the potential of my capabilities, I guess.
All right, now whether it was from just this season or all the way back to your freshman year, what would you say is the biggest or most memorable play of your college football career?
Probably this last sack of the Harvard-Yale game, my senior year. Honestly, I didn't even realize how big of a play it was until like last week, and it just felt like another play. Just everything, nothing felt that special about it. I kind of just was going through the steps of just everything. It was like just another play, continuing the grind that football is, and I didn't really get wound up in like kind of the moment. I felt like I've been in big moments before. That's kind of what we play for, what I like to play for. This was big moments, and just being able to kind of attack it just like any other play, but being able to step up and make the play the team needed me to make. It kind of felt like a large moment, and something that I guess I'm thankful for. I'll be able to graduate and always have.
Chris Schanfeld talking to 2015 NFL draft prospect out of Harvard, Zach Hodges. And Zach, you're listed as 6'3", about 235 pounds. You're very versatile, and at one point or another, you've played every position on that D-line. What do you feel are your biggest strengths as a defensive lineman that has allowed you to have so much success?
I work really hard. That's really the only thing I think that has made me have anything of a fortunate career. It's just my work ethic, and being fortunate that God has placed me in some fortunate opportunities, and for the ones that I've been able to step up and make and take advantage of, I've been rewarded. So I'm just really thankful. I've been blessed to have a great work ethic that my parents kind of raised me on, and that's really it.
Is there any one specific part of your game that you plan on working to get better at during the off season?
For me, it's just continuing to try to build and understand my knowledge of the game. This year, I've spent a lot of time just trying to start learning and understanding the entire defense, especially when we had a lot of young guys. Just trying to learn and understand it, kind of everything that's going on, not just this player does that. last year I was able to understand kind of what the entire D-line was doing, some of what the Packers were doing behind me. But this year I kind of started to understand like the influences of different coverages and how that would help me or hurt me in like my pass rush. Just understanding like offensive formations, things like that, to kind of just help me get those little advantages and understanding my one-on-ones, kind of what play, what most likely I'm about to see next. So that's probably been the most critical thing I've worked on.
All right, sounds good. Now, just a couple more questions, then I'll let you go, Zach. I really do appreciate your time. Your former Harvard teammate Kyle Juszczyk was drafted a couple years ago by the Baltimore Ravens. Now, is there any chance that you've been able to get in touch with him, and has he given you any advice on what to expect at the next level?
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of times. Like last year, we actually had a class together last spring. And kind of through the summer, I talked to him a couple of times. And it's just mostly just motivation about just keep working hard, keep grinding. You know, we know the job that has to be done here, and just trying to get after it. But I don't know. I hope to talk to him soon, kind of about some other life advice and everything. But there's a lot of guys. Alums have always been kind of a central part of our program. Kind of guys who came back from Harvard-Yale and came back throughout the season and have just kind of talked to me from Kyle Juszczyk to Nandi to, excuse me, I can't even think, to Nandi to Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm sorry. Dang, I can't even remember his name.
I'm sure you're looking forward to...
I'm sure guys have come back, and they're always just coming back and giving advice and lending their support.
I'm sure you're looking forward to chasing Ryan Fitzpatrick around the football field in the next couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think he'd be happy if he saw me on the field at the same time. But you know, it's always cool to have just to be able to show that like a school like Harvard that we can compete at that level.
Absolutely. So, well, last but not least, Zach, I mentioned over and over that you're a 2015 NFL draft prospect, and recently you accepted your invitation to play in the East-West Shrine College All-Star Game. What do you want the scouts to say about Zach Hodges when they leave?
For me, I just want to go and compete. It's just another opportunity to compete, show what we can do. That's as far as I can see it. As far as the whole NFL thing, like, I'm gonna go to. I decided I'm going to the NFL. I do this thing like once I get my foot in the door, like I'm gonna bust it open as far as I can take it. So I'm not really, sooner or later a door or a window or something's gonna open up. But when it does, I'm gonna run through it. So I'm not worrying too much about the small things.
Well, hey, it certainly sounds like you're ready for it, man. Zach, I really appreciate your time. It really was great speaking with you. You have anything else for us?
No, sir.
All right, well, thanks again, Zach. Hopefully we keep in touch and do this again down the line. Wishing you nothing but the best, man. Take care.
Thank you. Have a blessed one.